Constitution is a living document. That is what is so beautiful about it. It is a living, warm-blooded, steamy document. It is not a patchwork quilt.
No matter where we're from, political discourse can be polarizing. So how do you make it entertaining? Fun, even. This is a question that playwright Heidi Schreck aims to challenge in the somewhat autobiographical play, What the Constitution Means to Me. The show highlights Schreck's teenage experience as a constitutional debate contestant, where she will make you laugh as well as analyze just what our forefathers meant in a much-discussed American document. We're here today at the George Street Playhouse to speak to the cast and crew of What the Constitution Means to Me. Knowing that this role was originated by the author herself, how do you make the role your own while honoring the creator of the piece?
This piece was written by Heidi Schreck, and it tells the story of when she was 15 years old, and she went around the country winning prize money, doing contests about the United States Constitution. And then the play sort of jumps forward in time, and she is a woman in her mid-40s who is contemplating that past. The first half of the play is me playing Heidi, and the second half of the play, I get to actually play myself. And I use bits and pieces of her mannerisms and my own to bring this character of Heidi to life.
How do you approach the direction of such a personal piece?
For me, and for all of us here, it's very personal to start our show during this political season with such an important, bold piece of work. When I read the script, I was so turned on by Heidi's vulnerability and just her rawness of how she talked about her grandmother and her family. And I'm hoping that when our audience sits in this theater, they can reflect on their surroundings, their family, their neighbors, this country, and get excited about it. So it's tremendously personal and relevant.
What are you most excited to share about this show?
I'm most excited to share the show that's so beautifully written. And I think a lot of times when people think about the show, about what the Constitution means to me, they're coming in thinking it might be a heavy, TED Talky kind of lesson kind of thing. But it's actually filled with so much wit, so much humor, so much personality.
For me personally, when I come to rehearsal every day, I get to sit and work with two fantastic young actresses, Niara and Waburba, and we're having really thought-provoking conversations about the Constitution and the world they're inheriting. So I'm really excited to hear the response of our young audience members.
But tonight we've made up a style called POPOPO, which is proposition, opposition, proposition, opposition, proposition, opposition.
I'm very excited to share the message of hope for our future and for our nation. I'm also very excited to share the message that just like us, this Constitution is flawed, but it's also capable of getting better.
Statistically, 30% of Americans have read the Constitution, and that's 70% of the population hasn't. Watching or just listening to me and Kate debate, they'll definitely have a better understanding of the Constitution.
How exciting was it for you to be cast in this show?
This is actually my first professional acting role, so when I got the news that I had been casted, I was overjoyed.
When my agent told me that I booked the debater for this role, I was so ecstatic. I was so excited. And I'm here to represent the proposition, should we abolish the United States Constitution?
As this is a show highlighting our American Constitution and thereby political systems, has it allowed you to approach political conversations differently in your own life?
Oh yeah, definitely. I find myself entering political discussions with a little more confidence and a little more at stake, honestly, and a little more of an attitude that tries to get whoever I'm talking to more involved in our government, in how we think about who gets to make the laws, what we hold as truths in our American society.
Let's flip through the Constitution to find which page in which the rest of us become full human beings in the eyes of this document.
My character in the play spends a lot of time listening, so I think if we could all do a little bit more active listening than active talking, we'd be in a better place.
We get to interact with the audience a lot, so I'm very, very excited to play around with that.
This is interactive theater. It's a conversation.
At every show, each audience member gets a little version of our Constitution.
And I feel like the audience interacting with us, they're the judges. I feel like it's gonna be a really great experience for Kate and I and the audience as well.
This show is so exciting because you're a part of it.
It's really a fun aspect of it because it can change on a nightly basis, and we have multiple endings for the play based on what the people are giving us. So I just think that's such a crucial part.
I'm hoping that the audience will come in ready, and I'm hoping that they leave feeling optimistic about this political season, and they're encouraged to vote.
What the Constitution Means to Me runs September 24th through October 13th at the George Street Playhouse in New Brunswick. I'm Gina Marie Rodriguez for Jersey Arts. Thanks for watching.